In order for music to progress, it takes pioneers who are willing to be experimental and unconventional in their ways. While it's not always what the public wants to hear at first, it's glorious in its own way. The art of sampling had developed quite a bit since it had been invented. Producers started out by just looping parts of songs. Pretty soon that turned into producers playing around with chopping different segments of the song in order to create their own loop. That means there was an active search for the best music and records to take samples from. The search for the best samples brought obscure sounds to hip-hop. That, and the equipment used to make the music, was vastly improving. Artists like J Dilla, Madlib, and DJ Shadow were all contributors to this sound that was starting to form. There's plenty of information on why these producers are important, so I'm not going to go into that. But this video is more so meant to show how to achieve that experimental hip-hop sound from the late 90s using unique samples and chopping them within a DAW. So with that, sit back, relax, and I hope you can learn a thing or two, or maybe feel inspired. When I was browsing some music for this genre, I came across this DJ Shadow song. I discovered that it was in 80 BPM, so I set my BPM to that, and I decided that I was going to cook up my beat in the same tempo. I think what inspired me most was DJ Shadow's use of over 5 different samples spliced together. For the beat that I was about to make, I knew that I wanted to do the same kind of approach and have a bunch of different samples spliced together and make one cohesive beat, so here are the samples that I chose.
Madness enters your mind and blows on the go with the flow.
No, I can't. I can't imagine being anyone other than who I am. Like, that makes as much difference as it used to.
As you can hear there, I got a couple samples of just music, some drum breaks, and some vocals. When you're looking for talking samples or stuff like that you're going to use for just an effect, use samples from things that you're genuinely interested in that you think would make your music unique. From this specific sample, I just wanted the intro, so I looped that out real quick. What you're seeing here is me struggling with ideas. I was directly challenged by these samples. I knew I wanted a really heavy drum break being the foundation of the whole beat. Instead of starting with some sort of melodic sample, I started with the drums. I was having a really hard time trying to get the drums to loop without sounding stuttery, so I decided to play around with the tempo. And when you mess with the tempo of audio, you gotta switch the mode there from beats to complex or complex pro. After that was done, I froze the audio in place. And then I messed with the transients, making the drums sound a little tighter. Now that I had a drum loop, I could breathe a little bit at least. Sometimes when I have a lot of samples to work with, I'll know what I want to use each sample for in order to make the beat. I just knew what kind of drums I wanted for the beat, and that I was going to make the samples work no matter what. With that mentality, it took a lot of playing around and trial and error. I was able to loop 2 different sections from one sample, creating the loop that you hear. The intro and just the vocals were playing simultaneously. I was just kind of fooling around with the vocals, pitching them up and down, seeing if it sounded any better. I didn't go with it. In order to keep the beat interesting, I made a second section, and for that section I added in the rap vocals. I didn't just place the vocals in, I actually chopped them in a sampler. Unlike DJ Shadow, who is famous for making his music with only samples, I used a stock Ableton bass to get some much needed filler. Here I took the video that I wanted to sample and chopped it up a bit. The strategy of putting talking samples in music is a cool way to just leave your mark. To make this beat, I added a couple more virtual instruments like this electric Rhodes piano right here. Some little chord stabs to add some bounce. And a little Native Instruments virtual organ. Just some more stabs. Here I incorporate another sample, yet again trying to fit it in the beat. It was giving me a little bit of fight back. Right here, I am searching through a little, just like a J Dilla sample pack that I have. I'm just trying to find some filler transition noises. I'm thinking heavily on arrangement at this part in the beat, so in order to get two different sounding sections, I created two different sounding bass lines. While I was on a mission to diversify the different sections of the beat, I added some hi-hat. I tucked it pretty low in the mix, I just wanted it to be there and be a feeling. I was done adding new musical elements to the beat, so I began to just mix and balance my different levels. As I mix and I try to achieve the sound that I'm targeting, I'm keeping in mind that the producers of that era were using gear that gave them certain limitations, but in turn gave the genre that specific sound. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know how I did, and also let me know what kind of content you might want to see me make next, because I am always up for recommendations.